The Al Gores and St. Suzuki's, they always want to say things like, real scientists don't question any of this. People who are sort of pretending to be scientists, but real. Well, we've got real, bona fide, retired NASA scientists saying, NASA, you're embarrassing us.
Yeah,
you're embarrassing science.
That's right. Well, NASA's saying some pretty definitive things on their website. For example, they're saying humans have increased atmospheric CO2 concentration by 1/3 since the Industrial Revolution began. This is the most important long-lived forcer of climate change. Well, baloney. Okay, they don't know that. Nobody knows that. And so 49 scientists got together under the direction of Leighton Smith, who's the chairman, I should say, of Plants Love CO2. Sorry, Plants Need CO2. It's a nonprofit organization. And they put out this letter of 49 experts, previous Apollo astronauts, some of the world's leading experts in science and technology, people who made decisions on which people's lives relied. These people are used to using real empirical data, and that's what they're doing with the climate debate.
But the thing is that the scientists who signed that, the scientists, the engineers, the technology people, they're not against progress because they know that progress actually advances civilization. They don't have this romantic notion of how wonderful life was pre-industry.
Yeah,
because pre-industry, life... I'm sorry, go ahead, Tom.
Well, before dentists, okay? You always see these old cowboy movies, and they have perfect teeth. Well, you know what their teeth were really like before civilization got going. I mean, the bottom line is modern civilization has been a massive boon to society, and there's nobody better than these highly qualified technical specialists. I brought in a couple of newspapers here from the Montreal Star, which unfortunately is defunct right now. But look at this. Apollo-nauts battle for their lives. This is Apollo 13. Okay? Yes, they've made it, okay? Now, who was the mission director? Who is the mission control director? Christopher Kraft. He was the mission control director throughout all the original Mercury missions as well. Probably the most qualified technical person in NASA ever. Eventually, he became head of the Johnson Space Center. He signed that open letter. Now, when people of that stature are signing an open letter saying, NASA, you're making a mistake, then we'd be absolute fools to disagree, or at least to ignore it. And that's what, of course, the environmentalists want us to do, is to ignore it. Not to debate it, but to ignore it.
Well, the guru, though, Hansen, I guess, is now starting to whisper and even talk a little bit out loud to people. And Hansen was, and probably still is, Al Gore's hero, the mentor, the guy from NASA. James Hansen is starting to tell people that, he's really upset that fewer and fewer people are paying attention. I mean, you've got confessions. Even St. Suzuki is confessing that, he's gone about things the wrong way.
Well, he's going to be even more upset towards the end of May, because between May 21st and May 23rd, that conference that I told you about, the Heartland Conference in Chicago, where they're bringing together many of the world's experts on both sides of the climate issue, they are actually having a 2-hour panel, having 4 of the co-signers of this open letter. 2 of them astronauts who walked on the moon, okay? These will be the kind of people that are on this panel in Chicago in May. And so, I mean, Hansen's got a lot more problems coming. These guys are digging deep into the actual empirical data. They're going to be probably asking Hansen, how did you change that data so the 30s were no longer the warmest era? How did you make it warmer today? I'll bet you anything they're going to dig right into that data.